Then why isn't alcohol made illegal? Besides, grass doesn't have it for me like alcohol is. Besides, that cigarette's a much worse right, man. That's right. That's right, man. We is an addiction. You can as blow as much as you want.
And quit any time you want.
I think it's terrible that the American people have accepted a law that makes smoking a harmless weed illegal. Marijuana is legal all over the world. There's no question about it. Marijuana should be made legal now.
In 1977, a plane carrying around 6,000 pounds of weed crashes into a frozen lake deep in Yosemite. And within a week, climbers are making 30-mile round trips, cutting through the ice and walking out with 100 to 200 pounds at a time. The plane takes off from Mexico, all loaded up, flies into California, and then somewhere over the Sierras, it goes down. It crashes into the Lower Merced Pass Lake, about 9,000 feet up, completely remote, especially in the dead of winter. Most versions of the story go that two guys from Yosemite go out on a random winter hiking trip. They take some LSD, and they end up spotting part of the wreck. They see a plane wing, just sticking straight out of the lake in the middle of nowhere. They come back down from their hike and from their LSD trip. They tell some park rangers, and that's when shit starts to get going. After that, the feds get flown in, the DEA, the FAA. They make it out to the lake. They start pulling all the weed out, and they recover something crazy like a few thousand pounds. But then, the weather hits, and all of a sudden, it's freezing. It makes it nearly impossible to be out there working. So the feds decide to leave, and they plan to come back at a later time to finish the job. Before they come back, word gets around town. Not like a giant town, though. Like, it just reaches certain people, and that certain people meaning a group called Camp 4. Camp 4 at the time was just a Yosemite campsite made up of climbers who lived there full time. They were pretty much broke and just climbed every single day, and now suddenly there's this plane just abandoned and crashed in the middle of a lake full of weed, just sitting up there in these mountains right next to them. It's almost too picturesque. This is maybe the perfect group for this plane with the perfect drug on it in the perfect time for all of this to go down.
Is that any good?
Hey. Would you like to try it?
No thanks, but
some people like ice cream and others don't.
After realizing that, a small group goes out and they make the full hike. And once they find this plane, they realize damn near all the marijuana is still sitting there. But once that first group comes back, it's over. Within days, it turns into something way bigger. People start planning trips. Teams are going out there over and over and over. 16 miles in, 16 miles out, through the snow, carrying insane weight. Some people coming back had hundreds, maybe 200 pounds on their backs. Backpacks filled to the brim with weed. They literally called it hiking for dollars. So they're cutting through all the ice. Axes, picks, sometimes even chainsaws. They're pulling out these wrapped bales. Some of it just straight up soaked in jet fuel, so when you tried to smoke it, you'd light it and it would just whoosh. The guys come back down, they sell it, and immediately start spending all this money. They buy cars, motorcycles, and then they just show back up like nothing happened. And they go right back out to the lake, grab a bunch of more weed, come right back home, turn it into profit, buy a new motorcycle. Hike to lake, weed. Come back to camp, sell, repeat. In a pretty short amount of time, though, a massive amount of weed gets pulled out of that lake. Experts and other forum posts all claim thousands to hundreds of thousands of pounds of weed was recovered. And now it just exists, simply as a story that sounds completely fake. But it isn't. Like, California already had a gold rush back in the day, but somehow this ends up being a similar, smaller, much smaller version of it, if you think about it. Instead of gold, it was just a crashed plane and whoever got there first. Instead of, sifting through the river, hoping for that speckle of gold to come washing up, there is a giant fucking gold nugget just sitting in the middle of this lake, and nobody's claiming it.